Hello, everybody. Unfortunately, this episode has to be cut short, but hope you enjoy. Um, Inside Ego's office, late afternoon. A very tall, very narrow room, simultaneously grand and claustrophobic. Its soaring windows are framed by heavy velvet drapes pulled nearly shut, allowing in only a thin sliver of pale light. The few pieces of antique furniture in the room are equally tall, narrow, straight-backed, and uncomfortable looking. The faded burgundy walls are decorated with framed photographs and magazine covers, precisely arranged around a massive portrait painting. Their single subject, a tall, cadaverous man dressed in an expensive suit, Anton Ego. The same Anton Ego who now sits at a desk that is the room's focal point, looming over an ancient typewriter like a vulture with better posture. The room's lone door opens and a short, pudgy man in his mid-30s enters. This is Ego's assistant, Ambrister Mignon. Ego, what is it, Ambrister? Minion, Gusto's. Ego, finally closing it, is it? Yeah, I gotta do that again. It's embarrassing. Finally closing, is it? Minion, no. More financial troubles? No, it's losing patience. Announce a new line of microwave egg rolls? What? Spit it out! Minions, it's come back. It's popular. Ego looks up, eyes flashing. I haven't reviewed Gusto's in years. Minion, no sir. Ego pulls up his files, deftly riffled through the folders. Ego, my last review condemned it to the tourist trade. Minion, yes sir. Ego locates the review and plucks it out from the files, reading it aloud as if it were divinely inspired. Ego, I said, reading, Gusto's has finally found his rightful place in history, right alongside another equally famous chef, Monsieur Boyardee. Minion, touche. Rising from his desk, Ego moves menacingly towards Minion. Ego, that is where I left it. That was my last word. The last word. Yes, said Minion. Ego, tell me, Ambrister. Ego now looms over the cowering Minion. Ego continued, how could it be popular? Skinner's office day. Skinner is seated at his desk, his head in his hands. Talon sits in a chair across from him, sipping an espresso. Skinner, no, 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 no! Talon, matter of fact. The DNA matches, the timing works, everything checks out. He is Gusto's son. Skinner, this can't just happen. The whole thing is a setup. The boy knows. Skinner goes to his window, parts the blinds to the kitchen. Skinner, look at him out there pretending to be an idiot. He's toying with my mind like a cat with ball of something. String? Yes, playing dumb, taunting me with that rat. Talon, rat. Yes, he's consorting with it, deliberating, trying to make me think it's important. The rat. Exactly. The lawyer is watching Skinner now, eyes wide with worry. Talon, delectably, is the rat important? Skinner. Of course not. He just wants me to think that it is. Oh, I see the theatricality of it. Damn, that's a hard word. Theatricality of it. The rat appears on the boy's first night. I ordered him to kill it, and now he wants me to see it everywhere. Woo! Snaps fingers wildly. It's here. No, it isn't. It's here. And I'm seeing things. Am I crazy? Is there a phantom rat or is there not? But oh no, I refuse to be sucked into his little game of... Skinner suddenly aware that Talon is staring at him. Should I be concerned about these? Pointed about you? Kitchen. Linguini, Remy are cooking. As Colette walks by, Linguini's eyes and head start to follow her. Inside Linguini's toque, Remy wonders why Linguini's head has drifted away from the task at hand. He looks up, sees Colette, rolling his eyes at Linguini's limited concentration. He pulls Linguini's hair. Resume scene. Linguini's head jerks face forward. He frowns, annoyed at Remy's correction. Colette is cooking at the oven behind him now, and Linguini's eyes have drifted back to her, following the curves of her legs slowly up to her face. She turns, catching him, and smiles. He smiles back. Inside Linguini's toque, with one waning patience, Remy again jerks Remy back on task. Skinner's office, same time. Skinner paces back and forth in front of Talon. Skinner. I can't fire him. He's getting attention. If I fire him now, everyone will wonder why. And the last thing I want is people looking into this. Talon. What are you so worried about? Isn't it good to have the press? Isn't it good to have Gusto's name getting headlines? Skinner points at Linguini's photo. Not if they're over his face. Gusto's already has a face, and it's a fat and lovable familiar, and it sells burritos, millions and millions of burritos. Talon, the deadline passes in 3 days. Then you can fire him whenever he ceases to be valuable. You're still in charge, and no one will ever know. Talon prepares to leave, hesitates at the door. Talon, you know, I was worried about the hair sample you gave me. I had to send it back to the lab. Why? Said Skinner. Talon, because the first time it came back, identified as rodent hair. Damn. And that would have fucking drove me crazy too. Talon shrugs, chuckles, and exits. Skinner stares, haunted. Kitchen. Under Remy's direction, Linguini reaches for a spice. Colette interrupts, handing him another one. Colette. No, try this. It's better. Under the toque, Remy looks at the offered piece and scowls. Ugh. He begs to differ. As Linguini reaches to take the spice, Remy pulls back on his hair. Intercut Linguini and Colette with Remy. Linguini flinches, his hand hesitating, withdrawing, then reaching forward, back. Colette watches this odd display, still holding the spice out. Linguini grabs the wrist of his reaching hand, forcing it toward the spices as Remy tugs at Linguini's hair, directing him just as hard in the opposite direction. It's a battle for control. Then Linguini wins. His hand finally grabs the spice tin. He smiles at Colette. Underneath the toque, Remy grimaces. Alley, behind kitchen later. The dinner rush finished. Linguini and Colette exit the kitchen, laughing and holding hands. She pulls him aboard her motorcycle, and they peel out into the young Paris night. Paris streets traveling. Night. Linguini and Colette laugh and scream at the wind rips by Linguini, barely able to hang on to his toque, and we realize that Remy is still inside, holding on for dear life as Colette takes a sharp turn. Linguini drops his arms to steady himself, and his toque with Remy inside flies off his head and tumbles into the street. Dazed, Remy emerges from the battered toque to see Colette's cycle disappear over the horizon. Car horns blare. Remy turns to see a massive wall of traffic barreling toward him. He dives clear as cars roar past, the wheels screeching and lights flash in all directions as he madly scrambles out their way, finally making it to the curb. Remy looks up as a young woman recoils, jumping back into her sweetheart's arms. The woman, alright! Her escort swats at Remy with his coat. Remy runs, jumping into a nearby storm drain. Inside the storm drain, Remy tumbles to the cement floor, his heart pounding. Through the grate, he sees the legs of a woman and her escort. Woman, disgusting little creatures. Remy listens, pained. He spies his reflection in a pool of water at his feet. He turns, slowly disappearing into the sewer's darkness. Remy, I was reminded how fragile it all was, how the world really saw me, and it just kept getting better. Outside, back entrance Cousteau's dawn. Remy emerges from the curb drain and turns into the alley behind Cousteau's and heads up to the steps. Emile, psst, Remy. Remy turns. Emile peeks out from behind the trash cans where he waits with a group of rats, including GIT, the lab rat. Emile, hey, look, brother, we were afraid you weren't gonna show up. Hey, Remy, how you doing? Other rats assorted greetings. Remy takes Emile aside, speaking in an angry whisper. Remy, you told them, Emile. That's exactly what I said not to do. Emile, but they're my friends. I didn't think you meant... I was telling them about tasting, about the nutty tang, and look, I'm sorry. Remy, don't tell me you're sorry. Tell them you're sorry. Git has approached. Git, they're a problem over there. Remy, no, scowls at Emile. No, there is not. Wait here. Kitchen moments later. Assured the kitchen is empty, Remy hops to the door handle of the food safe and grabs it with both arms, plants his feet on the door and pulls. The handle doesn't budge. The door is locked. Remy's puzzled. He looks towards Skinner's office. Remy enters a little nervous and scampers up to Skinner's desk. A framed black and white photo of Cousteau speaks. Cousteau photo. Remy, what are you doing in here? Oh, that's Cousteau's photo. Remy, what are you doing in here? Remy, Emile shows up and I said not to, but he goes and blabs. It's a disaster. Anyway, they're hungry. The food is safe, is locked. I need the key, Cousteau's. They want you to steal food? Remy, yes. No, it's complicated. It's family. They don't have your ideals. The collection of cardboard Cousteau's standees come to life. Texas Cousteau. Ideals? If Chef Fancy Pants had any ideals, you'd think I'd be hawking barbecue over here. Mexican. Or microwave burritos. Colonel Cousteau. Or tooth, I say, toothpicking chickens about a French as corn dog. The sketch of Cousteau's as a dog-like ear of corn barks. Corn dog Cousteau, waves coming soon. Woof, rumming room. Scottish Cousteau, that'll ye be waiting. Some haggis bites then. Oh, dang it. Why ye be waiting some haggin bites then? Texan, ha, we're inventing new ways to sell out over here. Gusto's photo. I cannot control how they use my image, Remy. I am dead. Remy, would you guys shut up? They do instantly. I've gotta think. Remy climbs over the edge of Skinner's desk and pushes open the drawer and begins to rummage through its contents. Remy, words kept getting out, and if I can't keep them quiet, the entire clan's going to... Oh. Into his contents. Words getting out, and if I can't keep them quiet, the entire clan's going to be after me with their mouths open, and he finds the key. Ah! Here it is. Hey! Remy notices a file labeled Gusto's last will and testament. He turns to the Gusto's portrait. Remy, your will? Gusto's photo. This used to be my office. Remy pulls the file from the drawer and lays it on the desk. Remy, this is interesting. Mind if I... Not at all. Remy flips open the file. There, alongside Gusto's will, are recent press clippings featuring Linguini and the letter to Skinner from Linguini's mother. Remy, Linguini? Why would Linguini be filed with your will? Music builds as Remy reads, his eyes jumping between the letter and the will. His eyes getting bigger until... Remy, he's your son? Gusto, I have a son? Remy, yes, how could you not know this? Gusto defensive, I am a figment of your imagination. You did not know? How could I? That's a good point. Remy, well, your son is the rightful owner of this restaurant. Skinner opens the office door and freezes, stunning by the bizarre sight of the rat on his desktop. Remy snatches the documents in his mouth and runs. Outside, back of the kitchen entrance, morning continues. Remy races onto the street, hot on his heels. Skinner runs smack into a Lalo on a moped. Before the mortified Lalo can apologize, Skinner is back on his feet. Skinner, no, the rat! It's stolen my document! It's getting away! With a crazed shriek, Skinner pushes Lalo off the scooter, jumps on, and roars off down the street. Perry Street continues. Skinner screeches to a stop at the intersection, looks around wildly for Remy. He sights the document scampering through traffic and guns the motor, recklessly giving chase. Near the scene, moving with Skinner, closing in on Remy, Skinner reaches down to snatch the document when the rat suddenly veers. Skinner's moped plunges down a flight of steps to the river, where it lays in a heap at the bottom. Skinner looks up, sees Remy looking down at him from the balustrade documents still clutched in his mouth. Remy laughs. A gust from a passing bus sweeps the will from Remy's open jaws and high into the air, where the flutters out over the river's edge. And moving along the bank continues. Skinner sees his chance. He clambers up aboard the moped and takes off after the will, dodging obstacles and passerbys to pursue from the banks below. Remy chases it from the balustrade above, the letter still in his mouth. The will begins to descend, flitting towards Skinner below. He reaches for it, his fingers spreading wide. Remy makes two desperate heaps from the balustrade to a tree, from the tree into the air just above Skinner, where he intercepts the whale, sailing toward the water and landing with a flop on the canvas roof of a Buttocks moch. Remy can't believe he's got both documents again. Neither can Skinner. He ditches the moped and leaps to the deck of the Scene boat. On the Scene boat, moving between the boats, Remy, documents in mouth, leaps to another passing boat. Skinner, still hot on his tail, A jam of water traffic keeps this game alive. The two leaping from boat to boat, but the last leap to a dining boat is too far. Remy tries anyway, launching into the air. The documents in his mouth sweep back like wings, and he catches the updraft. His sails across the gulf, landing miraculously on the deck. Skinner crazily follows, making the leap of his life as he stretches out for the dining boat's railing and falls short, grasping instead the tablecloth for a couple dining near the railing, which he yanks out from under their breakfast like an magician as he plunges under the breakfast like a magician as he plunges into the river. Skinner sputters in the middle of the scene as Remy hops up to a bridge passing overhead, scampering safely away with Skinner's papers. Alright, that'll have to be it. But thank you for staying with me, and I hope you guys have a good day.